Could the token unlocks be a good thing for Illuvium and the ILV token? I'm about to show you a small breakdown of kind of how I think the ILV token unlocks really affect you in the long run. Obviously, this is considering if Illuvium comes out, let's say soon, maybe Q1 2023 is when I'm hoping this might apply to, but we don't know that for sure. So a bit of this is with a grain of salt. It's quite speculative, but I do want to show you some really kind of basic breakdowns of kind of how this sums up and how it breaks down when it comes to the different types of things being involved in the overall tokenomics. Now, I say RevDiz, but obviously, as we all know, it's net revenue, but we're going to jump straight into it. So what I want to talk about is a few key things. Now, this obviously doesn't have all the data. It's missing a few bits of data, but this is more to show the theory behind kind of how this works and breaking down the numbers. So what we're talking about here is as tokens unlock, they dilute the supply. Now, what does this mean? This means that if you have 1,000 tokens and $1 million is essentially assigned to those 1,000 tokens, if you now have 1,500 tokens, each token is worth less because it's divided by more. Standard division, most people know that. So that's pretty much how it works. I'm just going to keep this short, brief, and useful. Let's just jump into it. So we've got the market cap. I've set that at about 94 mil because that's kind of close to what it is at the moment, about a $64 price, maybe a little bit more. By the time you see this video, it could be quite different. Staked, I've got about 7.3 million. When you subtract, I think it's in-game yield isn't getting RevDiz. There's something that's not getting RevDiz. There's about 1 million tokens that's not getting it. Then you have the 1.4 mil circulating, and then you have the 300K or so burnt from SRV2. But I've actually raised it a little bit because I think less will be circulating by that time potentially and things like that. But let's say 7.3 mil staked, which is essentially the tokens you're dividing by to receive revenue distribution. Circulating supply at about 1.48 mil. That's off Masari.io. If you guys haven't used it, it's a really sweet website. We're going to just really briefly jump on it. It usually takes a little while to load, which is quite annoying, to be honest. But you've got a lot of really useful charts. You can click the little view more button and you can see price, circulating market cap, things like that. You get the point, but circulating market cap's actually increasing at the moment, which is super fascinating. So you've got that revenue per month. I'm putting that at 40 mil, which is about 400 mil over the course of a year, which I think is quite conservative in my opinion. And I have some videos showing that as well. So definitely subscribe and stay tuned. Don't want to miss that. Unlocked per month, I've got about 120K. This is averaged out. It's actually a lot steeper in the closer months to now than it is later on down the track. So this is averaged out over about a year. It might be a little bit less than that. I kind of winged it a little bit. I just wanted to talk about the theory here. Then you also got beginning tokens at 1. I'll change that as we go, and sell pressure at 70%. So if people receive RevDiz, 70% of them are selling their RevDiz, which actually has a really big impact. I wanted to do this video without that, but it's pretty important. So I'm just leaving that really high for now, just to kind of show you the theory, and then we can drop it if you want. But essentially, what you can see is even though the market cap is increasing because of the revenue coming in, so is the circulating supply, and the token price is not increasing that much. If we drop the sell pressure to say 20%, you can see that the token price increases quite dramatically. You go from $64 down to like $149 in like 7 or 8 months, which is pretty good. And yeah, so I'm going to bring this back up to 70%. But what you can see is if the token price is suppressed and there is a lot of supply dilution, which means less people staking, you get this starting to happen where your tokens go from 1 and really jump up very, very quickly as the stakers decline. Now, I don't expect the stakers to decline that much, but all I'm saying is a higher circulating supply means you're going to be getting more RevDiz just from really basic maths. And you can see it right here. And this stuff starts to get really wacky when you say have 100 tokens. I know many of you probably don't, but even in your first month, you can earn like 8.4 tokens if there are that many tokens staked. 8.4 tokens. What does this mean is 8.4 tokens is like $400? No, that doesn't sound right. But let's just go with it. It's 0.08 in RevDiz per token, right? So you're earning 8 tokens off the 100, which is actually really, really decent, right? That's a lot of money for a lot of people in a month. And yeah, but the thing is that it compounds. So you're earning 8 tokens. Oh, you can't see it again. You're earning 8 tokens maybe in the first month, and then it's about 9 in the second month. And then you're jumping up. You've got 9 again for a little bit. And even down here from 160 to 172, you're earning 12 tokens. And it ramps up really, really fast. And then eventually the token price probably goes up once people realize what they're missing, FOMO or whatever else you want to say. Obviously, this is not financial advice, but it does start to ramp up. And then you hit this point where your token's like $1,000, but you've already made 20, 30 tokens. And now you can sell them off or whatever you want to do. Not my decision, but if you sell them, then people are going to get more RevDiz in return, right? So you've got to consider the bigger picture when it comes to token unlocks, circulating supply, and market cap. And we'll see where this all goes, but I think there are lots of buyers. So a lot of this doesn't apply in the grand scheme of things, but in the back end, it certainly does have some underlying consequences and will affect the amount you earn. It might just not be as drastic or as heavy as what I'm showing you in that chart. I'm showing you that for effect, all right? It is quite speculative, but just keep in mind that there's a lot of things at play and token unlocks aren't necessarily a bad thing.